get a roll call, please? Here.
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No, sir.
No. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of June 25th, 2020 and July 2nd, 2020.
I recommend we approve those minutes.
And I will concur with that. Item A, correspondence received from Nice Engineering, Inc. with a bid recommendation for the installment of an under drain in the alley behind the 1100 block of May Street. The city has received 4 quotes. The following is listed of contractors and their price to complete the project. Grimmer Construction, $29,800. Rex Construction, $34,950. Gatlin Plumbing and Heating, $45,000. Salyer Plumbing, $59,500. The recommendation to award the project is to Grimmer Construction at a price of $29,800. And this has been submitted to us from Mr. Dean Button, City Engineer. Mr. Button.
Thank you to the board. This is a priority by Councilman Tyler. The 1100 block of May Street Alley has been a recent problem with standing water in the alley. Normally in a case like this, we'll put in a French drain, but this is a much more elaborate concern that we have. So we're putting in a French drain with leaders that come out. So it's quite a bit more expensive in order to do that. And there's a lot of surface restoration that we'll have to do. Councilman Tyler is in favor of this. We do owe you a green sheet. He's asked us to prepare one. We couldn't get one to you in time for today's meeting, so I would ask that you approve contingent upon the funding by Councilman Torres and approval by the mayor.
Councilman Tyler.
I beg your pardon. Thank you, Councilman Tyler. Yes.
Okay.
You good?
Yep.
Okay. I recommend we approve the contract to Grimmer Construction contingent on a green sheet being provided, signed by the mayor.
And I'll concur.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item B, correspondence received from Mr. Chris Campbell, Director of Information Technology, requesting approval of the renewal of an Ethernet network service contract with Comcast.
Mr. President, I spoke with Mr. Campbell, Director of Information Technology, earlier this week regarding this request. It is basically for expanded internet services throughout City Hall. I think it's a net change of about, I forget what he said in the net. The net change, I believe, is a couple $1,000s. But it does increase service and is important for the continued operation of wireless and internet services in City Hall. So I'd recommend its approval pursuant to Mr. Campbell's request.
Okay. I recommend that we approve Chris Campbell's request.
And I'll concur. Item C, correspondence received from Mr. Dean Button, City Engineer, requesting approval of a contract with Reith Riley Construction Company, Inc. for the 2019 Hammond Community Crossings Project, Holman Avenue, 165th Street to the Little Calumet River Bridge, HMA Mill, and resurface in the amount of $742,276.
Morning again.
But
Thank you. This, as you are aware, was a project that was opened a couple of weeks ago. It's a community crossing, so it's 50% funded by the Department of Transportation and actually 25% funded by Councilman Emerson and 25% funded by Mayor McDermott through their gaming funds, I should say, through gaming funds for 4th District and Mayor's Gaming. The project did come in under budget. We're happy to try to get this contract executed, and we need to get the executed contract to NDOT by August 17th in order to comply with their schedule. fairly routine contract, and then we'll get the money up front from NDOT to go ahead and start the work, and we expect a pre-construction conference early next week. We would ask for your signature on these contracts and approval.
Yeah, I think the importance of this project is that these are 2019 dollars that are being used, not 2020 dollars.
Okay, I recommend we approve Mr. Button's request.
And I'll concur.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item D, correspondence received from, please forgive me, Epifania Bradley, 1706 Myrtle Avenue, requesting permission for the 1700 block of Myrtle Avenue to be closed on Saturday, August 29th, 2020, from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. with use of tables, garbage cans, and barricades for a block party. But we do not have any signatures or anything from anyone else. So I think we have a little bit of time to reach out to her
Yeah, we have a couple weeks at
and
least.
find out how much support is on the block for that to happen.
So can we set this again for next week?
Yeah, defer for 1 week till.
Okay. I'm going to recommend that we defer this request to next week's meeting, August 13th, 2020, so that we might be able to acquire some signatures from neighbors.
And I'll concur. Item E, correspondence received requesting rental registration hearings.
Okay. I'm going to recommend that we set those hearings for September 10th, 2020.
And I'll concur. Oh, item 6, matters from board members. Mr. Long, you got anything?
No, sir.
Nothing here either. Item 7, matters from other department heads and/or their representatives. Nope. Okay. Item 8, new business. Item A, request for advertising dates of August 6, 2020 and August 13th, 2020, with a bid opening date of August 20th, 2020 for the demolition of 718 165th Street and 1003 Morris Street.
And Mr. President, these are demolitions that were in front of you probably about a month ago. The orders were affirmed. This would be the statutory request to have that work performed, and we've given you a date for that.
Okay. I recommend we approve the advertising dates.
And I concur. Item B, under new business, a resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Hammond, Indiana, approving the modification of the authorized representative for the Indiana Finance Authority Coronavirus Relief Fund Program.
Mr. President, this is the funds that have been made available from the federal government, Department of Treasury, through the state of Indiana, through the governor, down to the cities and towns throughout the state. What this is simply changing the authorizing agent because it's a lot of paperwork and it needs to get out as quickly as possible so we can get reimbursement. Our controller, city controller Megan Flores, has requested that she be the authorizing agent, so we're requesting it to be changed from the mayor to her to allow this to be expedited. I know the mayor has already signed about 20 reimbursement requests himself, and this will allow Megan to move those through the controller's office quickly down to the state.
And we obviously have the authority to do this, right?
Yes, actually, we did a little research into that because originally we thought it might need council approval, but it doesn't. It just needs an authorizing board, and because this is an executive action, namely that the mayor was the signing authority, I believe the executive board, namely the Board of Public Works and Safety, can make that change.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to recommend that we approve the resolution as explained by Attorney Smith.
And I'll concur.
I asked the gentleman to get that down to Megan.
Item C, under new business, garage sale permit submitted for approval. Oh, it's on the back, I like that.
Yeah, some they do. That's nice. I recommend that we approve the garage sale permits.
And I'll concur with that. Okay, continuing on our new business. Item D, rental registration hearings on properties located at 4615 Holman Avenue, 4250 Johnson Avenue, 714 Goslin Street, 7740 Birch Drive, 6644 Marshall Avenue, 35 Doty Street, 936 Spruce Street, 518 Cherry Street, 7626 Birch Avenue, 311 Goslin Street, 5969 Park Place, 1862 Warwick Avenue rear, 1839 Warwick Avenue, 1451 Atlas Street, and 1024 Myrtle Avenue. Mr. Kearney.
Good morning.
Morning.
Our first addresses are three properties owned by Mr. Loxis, 4615 Holman, 4250 Johnson, and 714 Goslin. Each are one unit and only goes for 20. We're recommending waiving the late fee. And please, it's okay.
2020? Yeah. 2020?
Just 2020.
You're in concurrence with your agreement here?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I recommend that we approve the agreement between the property owner and the city.
And I'll go down and
Sit down.
my nose, right?
Yeah.
After the meeting, Lynn will get some paperwork for you, so you can go ahead and register today and get everything lined up. So you just have to sit tight after the meeting so she can get copies of everything, okay?
This one's mine, man.
Sydney, 7740 Birch. Come on up, please. So originally bought by Mr. Thompson in 2016. It was not registered for 16, 17, 18, but it was registered for 2019, 2020. Mr. Thompson has an explanation for what the situation was. Sure.
I was living there, and then I moved out, and so it wasn't a rental then. And then as soon as it was, I filed and got it started.
So it was not registered for 16, 17, and 18, and apparently because Mr. Thompson was living there. They went under a management company in 2019. Is that your management company?
Yeah.
Okay. So I entertain the board's suggestion, but it seems if it was owner occupied 16, 17, and 18, obviously it wouldn't need to be registered. And he did register for 19 and 20 when it did become a rental. I would say no action is necessary at this time.
19 and 20.
He did, it was registered for
It's
19 and 20.
renting now?
Yeah,
It is registered for 2019,
so
2020.
I'm late on this year.
Okay, so 19's good, we're just looking for 20.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I misunderstood. I thought he
Is
said
that correct?
19 also.
No, it says registered for 2019 and 2020. Understanding this is going off Jaime's notes, who wasn't able to be here today, but
So no action?
no action.
Okay. All right. No action it is, okay.
Take care of
Is that
yourself.
not waiving the fee then?
They are waiving the fee.
Yes.
You've been registered.
No action, okay, got it.
You don't have to wait.
Good.
6644 Marshall, please.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Single family, only goes for 2020. Recommend we waive the late fee and register for the $5.
One unit?
One unit.
Okay. Good. Oh, this one's mine, yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Sir, you're,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
Okay, I recommend we approve the agreement with the property owner in the city.
Thank you.
And I'll concur.
6644 Marshall, please.
We just did that.
I'm sorry,
What's the date today, the 6th?
Yeah, 6th, yeah.
3537 Doty. 3 units, only goes for 2020. Be a total amount of $15. Yes, but I don't have no. Joyce Sutenbach or Sharon Soto? haven't signed, no, they didn't check in.
Didn't sign.
They didn't show.
You say it's 3 unit?
3 units, those for 2020.
How's the history prior to 2020?
2016, landlord locked somebody out. They took over shortly after that. Registered, the only one for 2020. No, nothing of any
Okay.
nefarious.
Okay, I'm going to recommend that we waive the late fee then for the 3 units for the year of 2020.
And I'll concur.
936 Spruce, please. David Wheeler.
Oh, you guys used that already? Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's right, Janet. So 1 unit was for 2020. Recommend waive the late fee and register for the $5 fee.
You're in agreement with this, ma'am? Yes. Thank you.
Okay. I recommend we approve the agreement with the property owner in the city.
Good to go.
I concur.
518 Cherry. 518 Cherry. Okay, these are 2 units over 2018, 2019, 2020. 1 unit is owner occupied. And you took over your new owner as of 2017?
Yes.
Okay. No,
When I bought,
2000,
when I bought my house, I filed a homestead in Crown Point. I didn't know I had to register my house.
so you're saying this is owner occupied?
My landlord didn't tell me I had to register the house either, so
Well,
this is.
are you Mr. Cronky?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 2 units. There's two apartments in this?
Yeah.
All right? So you can't get a homestead if you're a tenant, or you can't get a homestead if you have a rental property.
That's what the mortgage company told me.
Do you live there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't register the second unit for 2018, 2019, 2020? Okay. Took over in 2017. Let's say we want a unit as owner occupied, it was for 1 unit for 2018, 2019, 2020. Typically in this situation, we'd apply at least 1 late fee and get it in line to be registered on a yearly basis. I would entertain the board's decision, though. I don't see, there's been some collections in the past through Smith-Sursick, but that was before he took over the property. Anything that happened at this property was before 2017 when this gentleman took over?
Sir, why didn't you register with the city?
Sir?
Why didn't you register it with the city?
I didn't know I had to.
Okay, so you just didn't know about the ordinance.
Right.
And you've lived in one unit and you've had a tenant in the other?
Yes.
Okay, and you owned the property since 2018?
17.
17, okay. Yeah, so it's an annual, you have to do it annually before April 15th. If you do it before April 15th, it's $5. If you don't register, it's a $500 fine each year. So, we understand sometimes people don't know that the ordinance exists, but that's not a defense here. You don't get it to say like, oh, I don't know what the law is, but I mean, I'm sure the board will take that into consideration as they make their decision. Are you asking the board for a waiver of the late fee?
Yes. What I did, I rented that.
Oh, yeah.
I rented the one house, and then, my cousin, she sells real estate, and her boyfriend, I bought the house off. And when I bought
Do that going in, right?
No, when I bought the house from the realtor, they told me I had to file a homestead in Crown Point, which I went and did that. They never said I had to register my property in Hammond.
Did
I
you tell,
lived in Hammond like 7 years.
did you explain to Crown Point that it was a multi-unit? Or did you just tell them it was your house?
Well, they knew I had a double house.
Not necessarily.
I mean, I think you can file a homestead if
You
you're
can
there.
Get a partial.
Yeah, you get a partial on it. So I guess, I mean, we don't know what his taxes say. For all we know, his taxes show a partial. I know the assessor.
I'm sure, I mean, well, it doesn't say that he's been sent it.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, normally when there's multiple years, we apply a late fee to at least one of the years. So even though not knowing the law is not a defense, I think we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt today, and I'm going to recommend that we waive the late fees, but you have to make sure that never happens again. Because the next time, if there is a next time you come before us, we will apply a late fee.
What do I register?
They'll explain that to you when it's over today.
Stick around after the meeting and we just paperwork and I'll let you know where you gotta go, okay?
So that's my recommendation, to waive the
Total.
late fees.
Total of $15?
Yes,
Or, no, I'm sorry.
$10. Well, 10 a year, so $30 total, yeah. That's right, $15 total. You had it right the first time, Kelly. Yeah.
And I'll concur with that.
Okay, thank you. 7626 Birch, please.
Oh, sir, are you in agreement with the outcome here today, sir? Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to follow up my recommendation that we accept the agreement between the city and the property owner.
And I'll concur with that. All right, Kelly, you're on.
One unit, OSFOR 2020, recommend waiving the late fee and registering for 2020.
7626 Birch?
That is correct.
Are you in agreement with that now?
Yes. They actually mailed a payment in, they said it's probably floating around here someplace.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to recommend that we approve the agreement with the property owner in the city.
And I'll concur.
Okay, stick around afterwards, I'll get you paperwork.
Thank you, ma'am.
311 Goslin. It's a single-family home, OSFOR 2020. Recommend waiving the late fee and registering for the $5.
Owner. Who is it? You in agreement with the understanding you have, Ms. Kearney? Yes. Thank you.
I recommend we approve the agreement with the property owner in the city.
I'll concur.
5969 Park Place. It's a 4-unit, only goes for 2020. Recommend waiving late fee and registering for an amount of $20 for 2020.
You in agreement with this, sir? Yes, I am. Thank you.
Recommend we approve the agreement with the property owner in the city.
And I'll concur.
1829 Warwick.
Yeah, the one for Park Place.
18, actually, I think there's a typo in there. On agenda, it's 1839, but it's actually 1829 Warwick and 1862 Warwick.
It's okay. 1829 and 1862?
Correct, 1829 and 1862.
Yes.
That was first. 1862 Warwick is actually 2 units. 3 units, one is owner occupied, 4 units. 1862 Warwick is 4 units, 2 are occupied by the owner, 2 have not registered. But one, you live in one. Okay. 3 total, 2 units for $10 for 2020. And then 1829 Warwick is 1 unit, not registered for 2020. Recommend waiving the late fee on these for a total, grand total of $15, $5 for 1829 and $10 for 1862.
So 1862 is only, you say it's 3 units?
but one is owner occupied.
Okay. So then it's only two, okay. So $15 total for the both, correct?
$10 for the 1862,
5, right?
right,
You agreeing with this, ma'am? Yes. All right, thank you.
and same for 1829 is in the 5.
Okay. I recommend we approve the agreement with the property owner in the city.
And I'll concur.
$14.51 Atlas. Single-family home, not registered for 2020. Owes $5 for, recommend waiving late fee and the $5 registration.
You in agreement with this, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Recommend we approve the agreement with the homeowner, excuse me, property owner in the city.
And I'll concur.
And brings us to 1024 Myrtle.
Good morning.
1024 Myrtle is 2 units, not registered for 2020, and owes, for the 2 units, $10 total.
$10 total. You in agreement with this, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I recommend we approve the agreement with the property owner in the city.
And I will concur. That appears to be all of the rental registration.
Yes, it is.
Correct, Mr. Kirk?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see, where are we at now? All right, let's go to item 9, old business. Item A, correspondence received from the Hammond Police Department approving the Walmart drive-in movie event.
Yeah. After talking to them several times, very good event, so I recommend we approve it.
And I'll concur with that. Okay?
No. Yeah. We're gonna have police there and fire, so, yeah.
Item B, permanent covenant of use restriction to run with the land.
Be on Myrtle, I assume.
Yes.
Do we have it signed this week? No, sir. Myrtle, 1503.
1503?
Let's just, I don't want it on the agenda until we, until they're ready to sign it, and in the meantime, we'll just continue on with potentially demolishing that structure if we have to, if they're not gonna comply. Yep, so, no action, the request would be no action to the board, Mr. President, by the board, Mr. President, at this time, and to remove it from old business until, Mr. Kearney or another department head would request it be placed on.
Okay.
Do I need to make a recommendation or just no action? No action, okay.
From old business, okay. Item 10, meeting is open to the public. Is anyone here who'd like to speak before us today?
These are pretty good.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Do I need to sign in?
You need to, no, you just talk in the mic, though, that's all.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yes.
Oh, thanks. I hate these things. I'm here to try to prevent the demolition of my home at 1940 Lincoln Avenue.
1940?
Yes.
Yeah, so Mr.,
in
maybe I can nip this in the bud a little bit. Mr. Kearney has let me know. So this was under demolition order. It's been bid out. It's been awarded to JM. We've recently let, are you the owner?
Yes, I am.
Okay. The owner know that we have basically sent the 10-day, hey, we're gonna demolish your structure in 10 days. That just went out. That, I believe, prompted the owner to get in touch with Mr. Kearney. She's trying to obtain some financing, some reverse mortgage financing from a bank or other financing that would help with the rehab. So at this time, through my discussion with Mr. Kearney, we're gonna let the demolition contractor know that we will not be issuing permits at this time to demolish the structure, provided we can get a rehab agreement before the board within the next couple weeks. Hopefully the owner will sign it, can review it, sign it, and then we'll move forward towards a rehab versus a demolition.
I just want to say I had gotten estimates on the roof, and I have them and this was in March. My husband passed away in February. I went to this company to get, one in particular, to get an estimate on the roof, and was an approved contractor because they would provide financing. Well, because there was no credit established in my name, I cannot get financing, even for the amount of $8,000. So I have diligently, I'm a caregiver, I took on an extra patient, and I work 11 hours a day, 2 days a week. I've been saving my money so I can get the roof replaced because that's probably my biggest expenditure. I'm moving forward. The light bulb kind of went off and said, try a reverse mortgage. And I spoke to AAG company, and they had told me it would take 45 to 60 days to obtain financing for this. So I am willing to sign a rehab agreement. Pending financing, of course, I did manage to save the money for the roof, and I can go forward with that. But pending financing is to complete the other repairs. And about the other major expense I would see is I was informed that hot wired smoke detectors are required in each room. Even though my home is electrically updated, that's something that I wasn't aware of, and it has to be addressed. And until I can get the electricity on, any further work at that point is kind of in a limbo status because electricity is required.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, just from what you're saying, those conversations need to take place with Mr. Kearney.
Okay.
That will all be explained in the rehab agreement. Once we get it all together, you can take a look at it and see what you can
Will
do.
you notify me as to when?
Absolutely.
Because I had not received, we were scheduled to come to a hearing, and then COVID broke out. And I received a phone call that it was canceled, and that I'd be called to reschedule, and I never received a call. So there was some kind of breakdown in communication, because I would have addressed this much sooner than.
I mean, it seems like the city's obviously willing to work with you,
Okay.
knowing that you've got some financing for the roof, which is everybody's major repair generally in their home, so.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good
Thank you.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So do I need to make a recommendation to remove it from the demolition list?
Mr. Smith, do we want to remove it officially today? We do not, right?
We do not. I mean, as you know, with most demos, even though they're
We
under,
should put it out for status, correct?
yeah, even though they're up for, because this was just, really wasn't on your agenda, right?
Right.
So, as with most demolitions, we keep the demolition order on during the rehab process, so if they fail, we can move forward with demolition, so.
So how far out should we set it in hopes to get that rehab agreement?
I think what we, I think what we do, Mr. Long, or Captain Long, in the past, what we've done is just when it's ready, we ask Lynn to put it on the agenda, so really no action.
No action today,
Yeah.
okay.
But just to give you a heads up, we anticipate it being on within hopefully 2 weeks,
Okay,
All right, thank you.
at the most, maybe next week. if we're lucky.
okay.
Anybody else from the public like to speak today? Okay,
Okay.
I'll entertain a recommendation here,
I'll recommend that we adjourn the meeting.
and I'll concur with that. Those that need rental registration pieces of paper, hold on, and we'll take care of those.